Hey everybody, welcome back. I wanted to give you guys a quick update on where I'm at, what I'm doing. I took the FXT mower to work. I had a pretty slow week, so I had some time to squeeze in some few hours on this thing. I wanted to give you guys a quick video, a little rundown on what I've done so far. I've painted the bumpers up. I used a plastic dip or plastic coat stuff in a can, so that turned out quite well. Also, I replaced the pillow block bearings, which I've laid them down somewhere. Here they are. So this is what a lot of guys run. Just aluminum little pillow block bearing. You put your bearing in there, you twist it in, it locks it in, it bolts up into the little go-kart pillow block mounts here. So when my wife was running her go-kart for the short half year that she decided she was wanting to run, we got a ton of spare parts with her go-kart. And when we sold the go-kart, I thought I sold everything with it. Well, I found a box when we were moving of spare parts for the go-kart. So I was like, oh, well, whatever. I didn't know how to get a hold of the guy to give it to him, so whatever. Didn't really care. But I did come across these two-piece bearing holders. I had a guy, I posted it on my page, and the guy wanted to know where I got them at. Well, it says LMP Machine Shop, and they say Lube Flex. I don't know exactly what that means, but when I Googled it, it was a shop that is based out of Ohio. It looks like it's just a little machine shop that does everything. So the only thing I can figure is somebody had them machine them up for a specific reason. I don't know. I'm kind of glad that I came across them. They are billet. Whether or not they hold up well, I don't have a clue. I just think they look cool, and I'll end up probably polishing them. And there's actually a rubber O-ring on the inside, which obviously I can't take it apart because it's on the chassis. But there's an O-ring in there, and there's several spots. Right there, right there. There's another one right there that you can put grease zerks in. So the bearings that I had, that I used for the 2 or 3 races that I actually ran this, kind of find out, I went to pull the bearings out and they're bad. I mean, real bad. Which they don't seem too bad because they're bolted up, but you can't hardly spin them. And a little ticked off about that, which I guess it's not even spinning that bearing. Like, I can't even, they're so bad that I can't even turn them. There we go. Yep, they're bad. So I'm a little disappointed on those bearings. They're not greasable. They're fully sealed, and they're junk. Quite disappointed. So I'm going to order some new bearings, which that one seems to be turning. I think there was one that was really bad, and it was probably that one. But anyway, moving on. What else did I do? Oh, yeah. So when I go to remove the engine, see how I have that welded stationary? It ain't going to go anywhere. Well, when I went to remove the engine, the exhaust just would not clear my bracket, my little brake mount. So I ground it off, cut it off, able to get the engine out. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to fabricate something that would allow me to be able to remove the brake mount. Sorry, I should have done all this before I started the video. I just got home from work and kind of got a cold, and Give me a minute here. I'll show you what all I've done. If you guys go to my Facebook page, it's also on my Facebook page. So basically all that is just I cut a pipe in half and I welded a little bracket there. But if you see here, yeah, come on camera, focus. There we go. Maybe not. So what I did is I actually took 3 nuts, 3/8 nuts, and I welded them together, ground them down, drilled a hole out on both sides, put it in there, and I just held it with a bolt, and I just welded around it. So that made it work out quite nicely. So I can remove that, get that completely out of the way. That way if I need to pull the engine off, I can. Next thing I done today, actually, I made these little plastic. We've got big chunks of plastic at work. So I made these little, I don't know what you'd call them, spacers, or, you know, something that'll help keep the pressure off of this plate. Whether or not I actually need it or not, I don't know. It makes it look kind of cool. But I'm hoping it just kind of gives more strength and more rigidity to the front axle mounts here. I may have to, which that's not in the correct spot. I'll have to, obviously these washers, I had this all apart. So what I may have to do is just grind on that to kind of make clearance to, that way it stops, turns correctly. I did have to replace one of these bearings. I thought it was this one. Heck, I don't know. It's been a long week. But I replaced the bearings on those, so those spin freely. Front bumper's been Plasticoat. I haven't decided on exactly what color I want to run on the chassis. The guys at work thought it would look pretty cool. It's like a dark purple color. I don't know. I may just go with dark purple. It's either dark purple or really bright green, but I think I'm going to go ahead and just paint the rear fender and the hood maybe a bright white. Do some really like a lime green or really bright green racing stripes, and throw in some Prismatique in there and just kind of have some fun with it. It's going to have black rims, black bumpers, purple chassis, dark purple chassis. I might throw some Prismatique in there, kind of make it stand out. So I haven't really decided exactly which way I'm going to go with that, but it might be the route I'm leaning to. So I think that's all I've got so far. I haven't really, I don't know if it's my little clutch to help disengage my clutch. I'm going to put a little spring-loaded thing in here and maybe a little brass spacer. And that way, when you bring it forward, it's just going to push it forward like that and stay like that. And then it won't be a very stiff spring. It'll be kind of a weak spring. That way I can... What's going to stop it from that point is the clutch spring pushing back on it. So that's just kind of something that I came up with pretty quick. This is where it stands. I'm going to try to get it painted the next few weeks. We're going to get pretty busy where I work at. So this will probably be the last video for 2016. If I don't speak to you guys, or if you guys don't see nothing for the next 24 hours, then I hope you all have a very Merry New Year. I hope you guys had a good Christmas. I had a really good Christmas. So, not for sure what I'm going to do for New Year's Eve or New Year's. Probably hang out at the house, play with the dogs. Don't really have nothing planned. I guess it depends on how I feel. So, most likely I'll probably be out here playing with this, or I want to start actually taking my CP mower apart and start changing it over to an FXS mower. I've been debating on if I want to make a whole new chassis for that or not. I don't know. That thing just weighs a ton. I mean, that thing just weighs a lot. So I don't want it to be too heavy, but I don't know. I guess we'll dig into that later on in another video. But here's where I'm at so far on the chassis. Another thing, the last video I posted, I said I was having handling issues. I couldn't get it to turn, and I played with it and done just about everything that I can do to try to get it to handle. What I did find out when I had the chassis fully apart, when I measured from where the axle sits all the way up to here, and I measured that side from there all the way to here, I noticed that this side was actually was closer by a half of an inch. So my axle was twisted this way, which would make sense why every time I went to turn left, it didn't want to turn. It made it much harder. So as you can see, I don't have these in the original locations. That's because I actually have this axle back a little bit, and I have that one moved forward a little bit. So now everything's squared up. I'm going to make a little bracket to come across here and run a bolt through there. Same on the other side, that way it'll hold, and I won't have to worry about that. So hopefully that'll free up the chassis quite a bit, and it'll help me get around the turns better. So I'm glad I kind of found that out, and I don't know what the heck happened. I could have swore everything was squared up when I first built the chassis. Who knows? I'm not going to say I'm the greatest at this, but so hopefully that'll help out with the chassis. That'll help out with the handling issues, and the only way we'll find out is we'll get it to the track and see how she does. But I'm pretty confident that helped out quite a bit. So I think I'm going to wrap up this video, and I hope you guys stay tuned. We're going to be getting more into the painting process, and then I'm going to start other videos up with the FXS mower. So I hope you guys have a great new year. I'll see you guys in 2017. Have a good one.